So this is a crazy, weird, Hollywood sad story. I mean, it's sad to me. It doesn't have to be sad to you guys, but here's the story. So Columbia Pictures has its lot on Sunset and Gower. It's very, very famous. In fact, it's been there since the beginning of motion pictures. But they didn't have a lot of room, so they bought a lot out in Burbank, a 40-acre lot like in the 1930s, and that's where they built all of their what's called the backlot, like streets and sets and cityscapes and all these types of things. In the 1970s, Columbia and then Warner Brothers were both really, really needing money. They didn't have a lot of money. So they got together to save money, and they moved into basically the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank on Hollywood Way. Now, the Columbia backlot was on Hollywood Way, literally maybe half a mile down the street. So it was called the Burbank Studios, and it was located basically where Warner Brothers is, and then where Columbia's backlot had been, they called that the ranch. And this lasted for 20 years, a long, long time. And during this time, as a young actor, I would go to the ranch and audition. There was a company called EUE Screen Gems, and they cast a ton of stuff out there. And while it was the ranch, they shot Father Knows Best. They shot Leave It to Beaver. I shot a commercial with Jerry Lewis there. We held actors and others for animals at the ranch. It was this really famous, wonderful place, right? And then later, when Columbia was bought by Sony and then they moved out, now Warner Brothers got the studio from the Burbank Studios, and now that's called Warner Brothers. And then the ranch was now called Warner Brothers Ranch. Well, when it was Warner Brothers Ranch, this is where I would go for 4 or 5 years and record all of the voiceover for the WB. We recorded all of the WB stuff there. If you even remember the ads for the WB, they were all shot on the Warner Brothers Ranch. The Friends titles, where they're all dancing in the fountain, that was shot on the Warner Brothers Ranch. So many wonderful things. American Beauty was shot. And in the same house that they shot American Beauty, they shot National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This was the Griswolds' Christmas home. Down the street, they shot a show called The Middle. I mean, this is a famous, famous lot. It had mature oak trees. It was literally beautiful. And on a really, really sad, sad for me, sad personal note, when I was a kid and we would shoot commercials there, my mom would bring my bike, and I learned how to ride my bike on the lot right there at the Warner Brothers Ranch lot. I learned how to ride my bike. So as with everything nowadays, the Warner Brothers Ranch was sold to some real estate people, and they decided that instead of keeping this historic backlot where all of these wonderful shows were, filmed, they were going to tear everything down, including all the beautiful mature oak trees, and they were going to build 40 more stages or 20 more stages or whatever they're building. They're building more stages. They're going to be shooting there, which is cool, but they're taking away the backlot. And I'm just destroyed by this. The thing that's so frustrating is I think they could have rebuilt the lot and kept, the backlot, kept that little street there, but they didn't. And I was just really, really sad. And I tell you guys all these types of histories, and this has a great piece of history. And when I heard about this, it just killed me. And I'm really sad about it. And they've destroyed it. They've taken away everything. All of the stuff is gone. And I guess they saved some of the, the fountain, I think, is at the Warner Brothers Museum, but everything else is gone now. It's just weird. Hollywood is filled with history, but they don't keep any of their history. So that was frustrating. So it was just really, really sad. Okay, so here are some of the things that were shot on this backlot on the Warner Brothers Ranch. Father Knows Best, The Donna Reed Show, Dennis the Menace, Hazel, Bewitched, Gidget, I Dream of Jeannie, The Monkees, The Flying Nun, Here Come the Bridges, the Partridge Family, The Waltons, F Troop, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Lethal Weapon in this same house, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, we talked about that, WandaVision, The Middle, The Wrecking Crew. All of these great movies and TV shows were shot here, and it was just really, really sad to see it go. Hey, I'm Patrick Labyorteaux, and if you like the stories that I tell, but kind of want to know more about the people and the events behind them, check out the Patrick Labyorteaux Show with Patrick Labyorteaux. There's a regular audio podcast if you just like listening to it, or a video podcast, and that's on YouTube and Spotify. So check out the Patrick Labyorteaux Show with Patrick Labyorteaux.